Hi, first graders. Yay, so we're gonna start telling time. So this is my Judy clock. This kind of clock with the hands is what we call them. These things are called hands, are called analog clocks. You might have one of these maybe like hanging in your kitchen or your living room. This is one type of clock, though. It's called an analog clock. The other kind of clock that you see like on your tablet or your computer, or maybe you have an alarm clock in your room that has the little electronic numbers, that would be called a digital clock. And I'm going to show you an example. So the digital clock shows the time in numbers like this. So the hour, here's the hour, and then there's a colon that separates the hour, and then the minutes that pass the hour. So this time is 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. But we're going to really focus on telling time with the analog clock today. So I want to tell you a little bit about my Judy clock. In your binder, I gave you a laminated clock so you can practice telling time, and we're going to actually do that today during our Zoom. So a couple things we need to remember. This longer hand right here is called the minute hand. The shorter hand is called the hour hand. So one more time, this is the minute hand. It's the longer one. The shorter one is the hour hand. When we tell time on an analog clock, we always look to the hour hand first and then the minute hand. And so I wanted to go over some basics of time. There's a lot to know about telling time. Some basics, though, is that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So if we were to start here, this says 6 o'clock. To get to 7 o'clock the next hour, this minute hand would have to tick, 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 tick all the way around one time, which would be the passing of 60 minutes, and then 1 hour would have passed. So 60 minutes and 1 hour. And even if we back up into smaller increments of time, there's 60 seconds in 1 minute, 60 minutes in 1 hour. How many hours are there in a day? Does anybody know? There's 24 hours in a day. So for our first lesson in time, we're just going to practice telling time to the hour, okay? So to the hour, we're not going to worry about the minutes quite yet. So when it's an o'clock or to the hour time, the hour hand is going to be directly on a number, okay? And then the minute hand is going to be directly on the 12. So for example, right now, we start with the hour hand. We read this as 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock. This would be 3 o'clock. This would be 5 o'clock, okay? Because the hour hand is directly on the number and the minute hand is directly on the 12. So we're going to practice telling time to the hour today. And like I said, we'll practice in our Zoom. And then we're also going to practice writing it digitally. And so we'll practice moving our hands. And then let's say we've made 5 o'clock on our analog clocks. Then we're going to practice writing it digitally. That's a hard word to say sometimes. So this would say 5 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Let's write 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Again, this is the hour, and these are the minutes that have passed. So since there's 24 hours in a day, and you'll notice that our analog clock only has up to the number 12. So you watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's not 24 numbers on here. So what happens is we have AM times and PM times. So right now I'm at school and it's just about 7 o'clock a.m. It's in the morning, 7 o'clock a.m. But tonight, when I go home and I cook dinner, it's going to be about 7 o'clock p.m. Okay, so there's some a.m. and p.m. time differences that we'll also talk about. But again, today we're just focusing on practicing telling time to the hour. Your assignment today will be to do pages 201 and 202 in your math workbook. On 201, you're just going to practice reading the analog clock that's already there for you. So the hour hand is the red hand. The minute hand is the blue hand. We're just practicing to the hour time. So you're going to practice reading the analog clock and you'll write the digital time. And then on the back, you're going to draw the hour hand. And on the bottom, you're going to help Puzzle Penguin. Remember, Puzzle Penguin often makes mistakes. So you have to figure out what his mistake is and then fix his mistake down here at the bottom. Okay, friends, when you are finished with those pages, please take a picture of both sides and submit your work. Also, if you could spend some extra time practicing with your adult on your clock, that would be great because time can get a little tricky when we get into the minutes next week. Bye, friends.